every day with the beam of the moonlight in my eyes. Limited my consciousness with the focus of my mind. I've got to dig myself back to the beginning of it till they're breaking free. Knowing that my body's motionless and still asleep. I am waking up every day with the beam of the moonlight in my eyes. Limited my consciousness with the focus of my mind. I've got to dig myself back to the beginning of it till they're breaking free.
Hi everybody, my name is Åke Wallbäck. I'm sitting here in Gävle, sunny Sweden this afternoon, doing a review on the 3-disc from Latitude, Dynamic Disc and Westside Discs. It's the Vandal from Dynamic, it's the Gatekeeper from Westside Disc, and it's the Keystone from Latitude 64. All 3 discs are part of the Trilogy Challenge package this year in 2019, so be sure to sign up for the event. Look at trilogychallenge.com for more information. And the reason why I do this review is of course that to have those 3 in the same very video here, so I hope you enjoy this. Starting off with the fairway driver, the new fairway driver from Dynamic Disc is the Vandal. The Vandal is pretty much similar to the Culverin that we had as a reference, but unfortunately when we did the filming in Spain we did not have a chance to try the Culverin, so you can just see the Vandal in shape. But if you look at this one, they're pretty much similar. I would say that the Vandal is slightly more understable compared to the Culverin. And as we can see here on the video, I will do some tailwind throwing. You can see that I had a pretty flat to hyzer release. It went out to the left side and then had a reliable fade in the end. This disc actually came quite far when we did, as you can see here on the follow flight. The disc goes slightly to the left. I'm a left-handed player, so it goes to the left from the beginning, and had a long glide and then turned over and fell down pretty close to the basket. It was a good drive that day with some tailwind. You can see a second shot. I tried to release it slightly more flat, so it had even more turnover and then came back really well and almost hit the cameraman here in front of us. Yeah, you see here the same, pretty similar. Had a good tailwind coming from behind, so it helped a lot. So this, I would say, I was really impressed how far the Vandal actually could go from being a fairway driver. And at this time, you can have a look at Philip when he is a little more aggressive, and it has got some more power when he throws his disc. So you can see how the Vandal would take the same discs doing that. Philip is a 160-meter thrower. You see he had some hyzer release, and it really flipped over for him. So when you have a lot of torque, perhaps the Vandal could be a good roller options, but not for any longer drives for him. He would really need to go down in arm speed in order to fully utilize the benefits from the Vandal. This is a second shot from Philip. He would try to push it the same. You can really see he released it a little bit lower, and then the disc really flipped over and started to cut roll. The next one is the Gatekeeper from Westside Disc, and I would compare it with the Verdict. Verdict is of course really more overstable. I would say that the Verdict is so overstable, so it's not really fair to compare those two. But the Verdict is quite known to many people. But if I would have to have a close comparison, I would rather say that it's the Pine. This one is the Trilogy Challenge Pine print, but there is a new stock stamp available at your local dealer. But if you would compare these two, I would say that the big difference is that the Gatekeeper is really neutral. It is a neutral disc. I have not come across a neutral disc such as the Gatekeeper. The Pine, I would say, has some reliable fade in the end for sure, but the gatekeeper is really neutral. If you leave it slightly heiser, it will go slightly heiser. If you leave it slightly heiser, it will go that way too. It will not really fade back in the end that the pine would do. But the gatekeeper is really, it goes where you in that direction you throw it. So for that I'm really positive to the West Side disc development here. So if we would compare them as a profile, looking at them, you could see that the pine is slightly more curved compared to the gatekeeper, which is more straightforward. Both of them have got a pretty similar edge to it. I would say that the gatekeeper is slightly more flat on the edge, and on the profile on the pine is slightly more curved there. But I would say both of them are really reliable, but I would say that gatekeeper is the most neutral disc I have come across so far. Let's look at the movie here and see what happens. And I do some shout out here to Anton. Thanks a lot for letting me borrow your verdict too. You can see the verdict is really overstable as a mid-range. I could not really flip it over at all, so it's not really fair to compare with the gatekeeper, but we had the verdict to compare with. Thanks for that, Anton. You can see it had a reliable fade all the time. It did not fall over. Here I tried the gatekeeper. It was a great day in Spain, in Mijas. I had some heiser, but it came up. It went straight forward, and in the end, it was a little bit windy there that day, so the wind would take it a bit. But in the end, it had a fade for me, then going a little bit down to the next hole there. You can see there on the screen that the disc flips up and then comes down back. And I had a heiser, I pushed. When you try the gatekeeper, being a little bit stronger thrower, having a lot of arm speed, you can have a look at Philip here when he throws. He tried to release it slightly heiser, and when he does, it flips over a little bit. Unfortunately here the cameraman, which is me in this case, was not really good in catching, but he was really close catching the backside of the player there. Sorry for that. In the follow flight you can see it's pretty stable, and then fades to the end there slightly. Ja, vi kör. Last one in the lineup is the Keystone putter from Latitude 64. It is a beadless putter with a fantastic good grip. Very comparable disc, I would say, compared to Keystone, would be the Warden. In this case, the classic blend disc. If you put them next to each other, you could see that the disc with the Keystone disc is slightly more flat on the top of the rim here, and I would say that the Warden is a bit more edgy here on the disc, which of course will tell you, as experienced players, you would know that the white disc here, the new Keystone, is slightly more unstable, and we will see that when we look at the film here later on. And normally, guys, you should know that I do not throw putters. I use putters for putting. Unfortunately, this was such a good disc, so I could not not miss of making a hole-in-one here. So when you look at the disc, keep in mind that I am not normally a fan of throwing putters, but the Keystone really made me think twice. Let's have a look. So I have a standstill approach here for the Warden. It went a little bit slower and a bit low because it was an uphill. I did not compensate for that. So, but you can see that I had a heiser release, and then in the end it was a bit short. I was inside the circle. And I had a second Warden as well. I had a slightly better shot that time, I managed to skip at the circle's edge, and then later on it skipped into being really close to the basket. It was a tap-in birdie there for sure. Now I try to have a run-up approach with the Warden, with the Keystone, and the Keystone in this case, this was my first throw really with the Keystone, so I did not really know what to expect from it, but I got a second shot too, and this one was just straight into the trees there, but so I would not really say that it was the perfect throw. But here you have another one where I really managed to have a hyzer flip up, and it was just parked between the cameraman there and the basket. You can see it here on the flight. Yeah, that was perfect. And I even was about to make a hole-in-one here for both the Keystone as my fourth shot, and then the Warden was also a real basket hit in one. And so I'm really surprised that I could really throw putters this good, so I'm really happy with that. So thanks a lot for people to remind me that you can actually throw putters, not only use them for putting. So I was really happy to see that. That was it, guys. You had a look at the Keystone, you had a look at the Gatekeeper, which is a fantastic neutral disc, as I said, and the Vandal, which has got a long glide in it. So I will probably bag all three if I get the chance. The problem with when you get those good discs is that you have to either get the bigger bag, or you have to remove some of the discs that you have already in there. The problem here is I will probably bag this one and I will replace it with, I used to use Sinus for putting. Probably the Keystone will go in and take the place, really. And when it comes to the Gatekeeper, I think it will find its way together with the Pine. So both of those discs will go into it. And I normally don't throw fairway drivers. I go for distance drivers immediately. I don't have anything in between mid-range and distance drivers. So probably I will just simply bag them and I will not replace it with anything. It has got phenomenal glide. I was surprised to see that, and it has got nice S-curves, as you could see on the film. This is Åke Wallbäcks. Thanks a lot to Latitude 64. Thanks a lot to Richard Van and the Gogish Productions. And thanks a lot to all the friends in Spain and all you disc golf lovers. Take care and have a good day.
I to see, I'm taking your mind.